Hey everybody, it's Roy from A&S Gear, and we're going to look at an accessory for your rotor today. This is the Die high capacity top shell for your rotor, your original rotor, your R1 rotor. So first gen rotor. Actually, I shouldn't say first gen because there's like 3 different versions of the first rotor. So any version of the first rotor, just no R2s. Black and the die cam, which is very similar to a multicam print. It's a very easy setup to put it together. It's basically just like switching out a shell. It looks much bigger than it actually is. When you compare these side by side to a standard shell top, it's not much taller. It is a little bit, but not by much. The capacity change is only from about 200 balls to about 250. So a 50 ball increase, you would think well, actually 50 balls doesn't seem like that many, to be honest with you. But the difference in size between the two, when this just is by itself, it looks huge compared to what you think in your mind the top shell looks like. So this exaggerated top, you think you should get a bunch of paint, like an extra 100 balls in your loader or something like that. But when you actually set it down to the original one, it's really not that much bigger. It just seems bigger. So when you see them side by side, a 50 ball difference, well, it makes sense. But when you just look at it like that, you're like, wow, man, 1,000,000 more balls. It really doesn't come out like that. So if you're thinking to yourself, only 50 balls, it's really not that big of a difference in size. So 50 balls there. Switching out the top, super simple. As you can see, I did it crazy fast a second ago. First thing you're gonna do is pop the lid of your old one up. There's a locking tab on the back. We're gonna lift up the lock tab. And then we're gonna push on this button and lift the lid or a shell off at the same time. So push and lift and take that off. Then we can put that one back on. One thing you do need to do first though, I guess you don't have to, but you should, otherwise you'll have a giant hole in the top of your loader, is you need to remove the color accent off of it. So this piece right here, by removing 5 screws right there, this whole section comes off like that. Drop it onto this one and then put those screws back in. Very, very simple. We're not gonna do that because we're just gonna do this as a demonstration. Everybody by this time or point should know how to take these off if you have a rotor. They've been around forever, so it's not anything new that we're showing you right there. So to put it on, nose part first, hook the nose on, snap it over the back, and then lock the lid down. And then you would normally shut your lid. Or if you had a speed feed, you'd be done at that point. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run some paint through it. I've got a mixture of paint, as we usually do, of Reball, Redemption. I think there's some Elixir in there and some Toxic. There's just a variance of paint in there, which give you a good idea of how it feeds and how it doesn't. Now, rotors have always had issues with Reball. So there is Reball mixed in here. So there's a possibility that we could get some stops in there. It's just pretty typical with any of your super fast loaders. They like to jam on Reball. But I ran it a couple times earlier and we really didn't have any problems. So we'll see what happens. All right, move that out of the way. Put that right here. Let's turn it on. Get some paint in there. Take another one. See how far we got. Oh, the last one right there. So you can see not much left in there. So almost 2 pods in there, and I probably could even fit more in there, maybe another 10 balls or so. So you're gonna get a pretty decent amount of paint inside there. So we're gonna let it go. We'll see if we get any jams or not. If we do get a jam, I'll just hit the release button or the anti-jam and it should clear it up. It usually does. So here we go. Oh, a couple more in there. Oh, there's one floating around. There we go. So you can see even with some Reball in there, it's still crazy fast. Rotors, for me, if you're shooting decent paint, something that isn't crazy cheap or oblong or anything like that, rotors are one of the most consistent loaders I've ever seen. They're fast. They put out a constant stream of paint. I think they're one of the better loaders that are on the market. They don't like Reball sometimes. They don't like paint that is slightly odd shaped. They just like to kind of crush that and jam it all up. But if you're shooting just a decent case of paint, rotors are awesome. And now with the extended lid, you get that extra couple shots right off the break. You can shoot slightly longer than somebody else that's playing. You might get that first kill. So definitely an option to think about if you want to shoot more off the break or you just want to shoot more in general. The high capacity lid, put your 200 round loader to about 250. It's available in 2 colors through the website. Order yours now through ansgear.com.